My question is, it's possible that someone, does not do their work thinking about a specific motivation. Like, like maybe somebody does work out of duty or they do it out of desire. How does one elevate their motivation and their consciousness? Because just saying it practically does not really work, right? How does one elevate their motivation in every kind of work that they do, whether that's material or spiritual?
Thank you, Parnika, for the perfect question to lead into the next section. Because that's where in the 38th verse Krishna exactly says, forget about all these lower motivations, because failure, joy, sorrow, loss, gain, these things come and go. But as spirit soul, these things are temporary. So being situated on that identity of soul is the way to actually deal with life on the level of duty or on the level of love. At least one needs to minimally come to that level of spirit soul. And we do that, at least we have the knowledge now. How can it become our practical realization or implementation is, that's why we do chanting. That's why we engage in the practices of bhakti yoga. The idea is to realize who we are and what is our connection with God. Then it spills over in every area of life that we are doing. So once a person becomes strongly connected, situated on the platform of soul, and has that strong connection with Krishna, then every other activity that they do is springing up from that identity. Be it work, or be it your devotional activities, or being it dealing with other people, you can carry yourself when you make certain level of advancement, you can see always yourself as that identity and accordingly deal with everyone. It's a gradual process, but the idea is, the purpose of spiritual life is to situate ourselves on that level of soul in all our interactions. That gradually happens as we continue to chant and purify the mind. Did I speak to your question?
Yes.
Are you satisfied?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Real quick, sorry. Does
yes.
that go back to what Jeffrey Prabhu initiated in the beginning?
Mhm.
It's the same thing. Okay.
Yeah, no, you can clarify, like what did he,
Well,
what
he said, and forgive me if I can't quite remember, but I thought he was talking about um
does the understanding of the soul applies to is swadharma and all that.
I'm sorry, say it again.
So when I spoke about raising the level of consciousness, he said, is it for the sake of just in the spiritual activities, or is it for everyday life? Is was that you're referring to that?
Earthly Dharma versus physical Dharma is what he was
Yeah,
talking.
so the spiritual dharma, like our spiritual duties versus our material duties.
Right.
What she is asking is very similar to that, I would say. When we rise to the level of soul, and from that consciousness, we will be able to address everything.
Right. Right.
And
Okay.
only then the motivations also actually grow. Because if I identify with my body, then I'm thinking about how can I enjoy or avoid suffering. But when I think I'm spirit soul, I understand, okay, there may be inconvenience on the body level, but this needs to be done. So I will do it. There may
Mhm.
be some inconvenience. So that's what Krishna will exactly address in this section. He will speak about tolerating and all of that also. So, so he's in the 38th verse, he is saying, act without worry about the outcome, whether it will be gain or loss, because just by doing your duty, you will avoid sin. And then he also shifts the discussion towards the concept of action without seeking rewards. Krishna explains that how the knowledge of the soul frees one from the bondage of material actions. And in this pursuit, every small effort also counts. Like if we understand even like endeavor in this kind of a devotional consciousness, even a very little, that has effect. It is not eroded with time. Time takes away all our efforts in this world. be it professional, be it personal and achievements, accomplishments. There were kings and kingdoms and civilizations. Everything gets eroded by time. However, a little spiritual endeavor, a little endeavor on the platform of soul, trying to understand that I'm not the spirit soul and trying to act on that level and in that knowledge, even if it is very little, it is a permanent investment that it carries forward over lifetimes. All the money that we have, all the beauty that we have, all the educational accomplishments that we have, professional accomplishments we have, they cannot be carried forward to the next life. But the spiritual consciousness goes along with the soul. So the spiritual consciousness is what Krishna is saying. Develop that and act from that level. So he's saying that that's how you can make things from being just ritual to making them spiritual with consciousness. So he's saying, don't just work for profit, but rather work for the pleasure of Krishna, for the advancement, for the in service to others. So raising that consciousness, he's speaking about that. And he also uses a metaphor. He says how when you have a big reservoir of water, like a river which is flowing with full of water, then all that facilities that you can get from a personal well in your own home, you can get the same, all kinds of that will be available from the river. This analogy can be like little foreign for many people who have not lived on the side of a bank of a river or never had a well in their houses. So when I was very young, we had a well at our home. So you get all your water necessities from the well. You can draw water from it for cleaning utensils, for cleaning, for bathing, for washing your clothes, for laundry, everything you can get water from that well. But what Krishna is saying here is, if you had a river flowing next to the river well, why would you go through the trouble of drawing water out of the well? It's a lot of hard work to get bucket after bucket for your use. But if there is a river just flowing outside the well, then you would just directly take water from the river. So he's saying similarly, when you improve your consciousness, when you increase your consciousness to the spiritual platform, it's like having a river. Why would you bother having a lower consciousness of the bodily consciousness, which is troublesome? So if you get spiritual consciousness, that with that consciousness you will achieve all the purposes that you need to achieve in this world, be it spiritual or be it material. Everything is possible with that, with this higher level of consciousness. Then why do you suffer in the bodily consciousness? Rise above. So that's what Krishna is speaking in the 46th verse. He's saying the reservoir of water, that is a river, can provide all the necessities or all the functionalities that a small well provides. So take to the river, don't be stuck in the well. So that's what is the main theme of this section. And then he says, that's what is yoga about. Yoga is about raising that consciousness from bodily consciousness to spiritual consciousness, and connecting on the platform of soul, so that then we have the next level of connection. If I understand I am spirit soul, then also then God comes into the picture. Yoga means connection between the soul and God. So he's saying, make your work as a yoga. Instead of just being it work, make your work spiritual. And that is the aspect of karma yoga, making your work into a spiritual offering. And by engaging in that, so there is no sinful reaction that accrues through one's activities, and there is no rebirth also if one is purified enough through dutiful work. And he says this dutiful work can lead to divine consciousness. So wherever we are, even if we are attached, if we have little spiritual consciousness and work on it, then that improves, that increases and develops more knowledge, and then we develop more detachment and more wisdom, and we gradually grow in that ladder from wherever we are. By being sincerely applying that stage, we grow to the next stage. So Any thoughts or any reflections, questions? Yes, Nandakrishna.
A quick question, Prabhuji. Usually, for most materialistic people, they usually work really hard for the purpose of achieving material fruits and having more success. While this is unhealthy and hinders spiritual growth, I was wondering how we can have the same sort of success and continue to work hard like this without having these unhealthy attachments for these negative effects and for these negative fruits and desires. Because like I feel like that some of these things that we work towards, such as having like good grades or having a good job, I feel like it's a little bit hard to tie it back to Krishna and like pleasing him compared to like actual devotional service, such as like worshiping him or like playing kirtan for. So I was just wondering how I can try to
Thank you.
reduce those attachments.
Thank you. That's a very relevant and pertinent question, Nandakrishna. So, can spiritualists be successful in life on the level of education, work, business, family life? Can they be successful? Yes, absolutely. All we need is three things: vision, action, and attitude. So, the vision that everything, because I'm servant of Krishna, and Krishna has given this body, given me my relationships like family, parents, children, and all these kind of relationships. And this is all coming from Krishna. So I belong to Krishna, and everything in my life, everything belongs to Krishna. So with this vision that everything actually belongs to Krishna, and now acting on it. Okay, now Krishna has given me this opportunity. What do I do in this? Having that action, endeavoring with detachment, like I'll try my best. Maybe I'll be successful to, like, say, for example, I might get a grade or A plus or whatever it is, but I'll give my best. I'll try my best, give my complete with my dedication. I won't be worrying, will I get into this school or that school? But whichever school, I'll do my best. So that kind of a complete dedication and detachment makes you like kind of lighthearted, in the sense you're not anxious. You know, end of the day, if something has to come to me, if Krishna wants to give me something, nobody can take it away. And if it is not meant for me, no one can give it to me. So our control is in how we act. So devotee has this full understanding that my duty is to act with all the best that I could do, and the rest, the result is in Krishna's hand. Whatever he gives me is good for me. So the vision that everything belongs to Krishna, and the action that is, one is detached um, and one is determined to do one's effect. And the attitude is also that everything that comes from after my full effort is what is the best for me, because we do have this spiritual understanding. So do our best, and surely according to that, whatever result comes, you'll be able to accept it gratefully. So success is, yes, external success will surely be there, but the internal success also will be there. The internal success is to be determined, to be detached, to be happy, and to be inspired. All those internal measures also you will achieve by devotional consciousness. So with that devotional consciousness, when you completely endeavor, externally sometimes there will be success, sometimes there may not be. Like, whether be your spiritualist or materialist, external success is not 100% guaranteed all the time. External success will be there, sometimes will not be there, but internal success will always be there when we have the right consciousness. So do your best, and pretty sure most of the times you will also have external success. And when you have that understanding, everything belongs to Krishna, then you're not like thinking like of oh, this is material or this is spiritual. You will know the balance, how much to endeavor and when is it too much.
So I should do all of my actions and all of my hard work as like taking advantage of all of the wonderful opportunities that Krishna gives me
Yes, the
and like
current
try to use
capability
it
is
for his
you are a
full
student.
potential.
You are a student, so then your
Yeah.
duty is to study well. But why are you studying well? Because you also have a big life. and that is how it's going to facilitate your devotional life in the future. So you have that idea, and then with that consciousness you're also endeavoring in the studies. And even if there is a temporary setback or something, it's not like kind of making you so sad for 3 days. You're just telling your mom, oh, wish I did that question perfectly, I knew the answer but still I messed up. Okay, whatever happened, you go on, go move forward, do the best that you can do in the next step.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Chakresh and then Chinmay.
Um, so Prabhuji, I read in like a Krishna book that if you're a devotee of Krishna, he will like take all like he will that like you will not be like as successful in material life, and that he will take a lot away to test you
Thank you, Chakresh.
for
You
spiritual.
already reached the 10th canto, 88th chapter for Parikshit Maharaj's question. So the understanding is it's not that Krishna is like kind of masochistic or anything like that. He is not going to like put us through pain for the sake of just giving us pain or anything like that. So the understanding is a devotee is satisfied whether things externally seem to be working or not working. The internal happiness is completely guaranteed. At the same time, it's not that for everyone Krishna will just take away what they have or anything like that. It's not that there will be no external peace in our lives or anything like that. Krishna does not test someone more than what they can handle. Like you go to school and you have 8th grade, your school is not going to give you a 10th grade question paper for your exam. So the purpose of exam is not to fail you. The purpose of exam is to make sure you understood. So Krishna is not going to give you a question paper which is more than your consciousness. So you will never face like that which is like radically higher than your consciousness. Make sense?
Yeah.
There are stages within bhakti also. We are all devotees, but we all have different levels of consciousness. We will be facing little higher than what we are currently so that we can grow. That's all is the Krishna's idea is he's through those tests, he's making us advance to the next level. You get an exam for 8th grade, then when you clear it, you go to 9th grade. So that's the same thing in spiritual life also. Whatever level of consciousness you have, Krishna offers a test to make sure you're stable there, and then you can grow through the experience. Does that make sense, Chakresh?
Yeah. Well explained.
Thank you. Chinmay? You're mute. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, do we have a few minutes? I want to share something.
Okay. Do you think will it take the time away from the conversation?
About a few minutes, maybe 3 to 4 minutes.
3 to 4 minutes. We are 9:58. Why don't
Okay.
give me this time to complete this line of thought so that I'll
Sure.
complete 53 and then we will give you. I'll
Okay, bro.
So the overall idea is you may be detached from results, but that does not mean you don't have any goals as devotees. It's not that devotees should not have any goal in life. What Krishna is saying is be detached from the results, not like be aimless. He's not saying that, because we are the makers of our destiny, but not the masters of our destiny. You can decide, okay, I'll become a doctor. You can endeavor. There's nothing wrong about it. But sometimes destiny may have a different plan. But still, you can make plans and you can try for it and have some goals. Because the idea is, if you work on the circle of control, then your circle of influence increases. So that's why when Krishna says, like, if you can change something, if you can do something about an issue, so then why do you worry? Act on it. And if you know you cannot do anything about an issue, so then why worry? Do something you can. Don't worry about what you cannot change. So either way, there is no reason for worrying. So that's what he is telling Arjuna. Don't worry. If you could do something, get on the floor, do something about it. And if you cannot, then don't worry. So focus on what's in your control. Your control, we all have certain control within our lives. We can improve our lifestyle, we can improve our focus, we can improve our habits, we can improve our what do you call, like, attention. So we can work on so many things. So improve those things, then naturally your circle of control will expand. So don't waste your time in what you cannot control. Work on things that you can really are within your control. So it just needs some maturity to understand what's in our control and what's not. And once you have that, you will have much more influence in life, in your own life and in others' life. So the whole idea is like, goals can inspire you, but being too much worried about the result makes us anxious. So that's why, if we want to happily work, then we need to be uh, not so fixated on the outcomes, because we are just one of the doers. We are not the only doer, because there is time. Say, for example, if I did not have any power today, if there was a tornado in New York City, then I probably would not have the electricity and I would not be able to do this class. So if I had a problem with my Zoom account, or if I had not charged my laptop, if I had a sore throat, if I was sick, so me able to speak now and explain, there are so many other factors coming into play. So Krishna has sanctioned it. I have endeavored for the last week that this class has to happen. So there is preparation, there is communication. I have done my best, but still it's not guaranteed that the class will happen. There are so many other factors that happens. So when something happens according to a plan, we should be so thrilled and impressed and grateful that so many things could have gone wrong. Still, Krishna actually mercifully let this happen. So then we become grateful and we become humble. We don't think, oh, I am the only one that made this possible. No, hundreds of things could have stopped us from achieving what we wanted, but still that we could do that. That means there was a higher sanction. So we endeavor, and on top of that, there is time, place, Krishna's will, and the knowledge, and other people. So many people help in making some things happen. If none of you were showed up for the class, so I probably will not be sitting and speaking with the same enthusiasm. So it's not just one person that we are not the we are just one of the doers. We are not the only doer of any action. So developing this understanding is very important. So in the next week, we will take up this idea. What does it mean by being detached from the result and being focusing on the goals? So we can speak more about that in the coming week. I really wanted to cover the rest of the